Double Take is a podcast where two of us will face off in a takeoff, discussing and debating our hottest takes on a new topic every week. This week, Christian and I will be taking on public restrooms. I'll go first. Single-ply toilet paper should be illegal, honestly.
Jeez.
It's a little dramatic there.
It may sound dramatic, but hear me out, all right? We live in the 21st century. We have cars that drive themselves. We can watch anything we want to at the touch of a finger. Why are we still using those same fingers to hold single-ply toilet paper?
I have to stop you.
Fractions of an inch from our... Yeah. Thank you, yes.
We can watch whatever we want at the touch of a finger. So
our phones.
Okay,
yeah.
By the touch of a button, maybe?
Yeah, with the use of our fingers. And these same fingers are the ones that we are willingly putting a single ply of toilet paper between a very, very dirty orifice, if I'm being quite honest.
One might argue the most dirty.
So, and my real beef with single ply is that there is not a public restroom in America that supplies double ply. I mean, honestly, every public restroom that you go into, it's single ply. And it's not because it's more cost effective, because if I'm in a public restroom, I'm at a minimum going for 18 inches of paper. Where at home, I maybe reach for 4 squares, maybe.
The fact that you have this measured out is very impressive.
But I don't. I don't trust the single ply.
I know, but here's the thing: it is a cost efficiency thing. The reason that they do single ply is not just because the person happens. Like there's one person buying all of the public restroom toilet paper.
It's because it's way cheaper.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper, exactly, and no one will steal it. I don't know how big of a problem toilet paper theft is, but no one is going to take single-ply toilet paper and use it at home because it's just not usable.
Here's the thing. I purposely avoid a 7-Eleven bathroom because of single-ply, but if I got to use it, I'm going to use it. I'd rather have it than not.
The alternative is a hand or a paper towel.
Well, okay. What about this? Maybe we're thinking about this all wrong. Maybe the alternative isn't a hand. Maybe the alternative is a jet of warm water, a la bidet. Have you guys used a bidet?
I have never had the pleasure of using a bidet.
I never want the pleasure of bidet.
Oh.
I don't feel like
actually, yeah. You know what? I'm changing my take. Bidets should be just standard issue.
Okay, I think there's a lot of natural people out there who would agree, and
toilet paper is a great drying mechanism. Like, you don't clean up a mess. If you spill chili on your carpet, you're not going to get a dry piece of toilet paper and expect that it gets clean.
Okay, but you know what
you're
you also
use
do?
Use a jet of warm water
no, you don't.
And scrub.
Okay, so here's a very important question. I don't know bidets. I don't know how they work. For a bidet, do you just use the bidet, or do you start with a bidet and then finish with toilet paper?
The answer is you always start with the water. That comes first, because if something's dirty, you wash it with water. That's just kindergarten level stuff. You start with the water, make sure that it gets a nice propulsion upward, maneuver around while you're sitting just to make sure that
that's always been my question is like, how do you gauge where it's going?
I mean,
are you moving?
You can feel it. Toilet paper, I think, works great to dry things off. You spill water on the counter, grab a paper towel, great. You dab it up. And that's what you do with toilet paper. Toilet paper should be used for dabbing, not wiping.
Okay.
I'm anti-wipe.
Here's my problem. If I put a bidet in my house,
you'll never look back.
No, I'll never be able to have a dry floor. Because my the water shoots out of the toilet, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie's going to be all over that. It's going to be just like a little water feature.
Good
you
point.
might as well have like a garden gnome on the other end of it because it's just going to be shooting water everywhere. It's not practical with kids. Maybe it's like in the master bedroom,
I don't know. I mean, you don't have to use it.
I know.
It comes with a remote. You put the remote up high out of reach. Charlie will never know. She'll just think that the toilet got a software update. I don't know.
iOS. Well, I think it was a little dramatic to start. I wasn't on board with the single ply thing. The bidet I see just from an environmental factor. If we can get rid of all that paper, that's a lot of paper.
All right, guys. So I'm telling you, if you ever are in the mood, come over to my parents' house. I'll volunteer their bathroom. Take 15 minutes. Again, you'll never look back.
We should have gender-neutral bathrooms across the board.
I agree.
Across the board.
Okay.
And this,
interesting.
This is not, I'm not going to spout any liberal mumbo jumbo about how, sex is binary and we all are just free-floating organisms with no penises. I'm not going to go there.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I would appreciate the avoidance of that.
Yeah. I think this should happen purely from a convenience factor. We work together, and I'm telling you, trying to get in the men's bathroom is like a freaking journey to Mordor.
No, I totally agree with you.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Christian and I the other day coming home, we went out to lunch, came back. I've got to go, and I'm walking to the bathroom. Sure enough, footsteps behind me. Christian sprints into the bathroom, locks the door, and says his time is more important than mine, and says he'll be out in 15 seconds. Oh, it was more like 10 minutes.
So first of all, Nate, I know what both our paychecks look like, so I can promise you that my time is not more valuable than yours. Number two of that story was completely false.
No, it's 100% true.
Okay,
and
but
here's what happened. He sits in there for 5 minutes, and he comes out while I'm looking at a completely open women's bathroom.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the women's bathroom always smells 10 times better than it does the men's.
It smells so good. Like lavender. Here's the problem. Yeah, I feel the exact same. Nate, your story that you told was completely false, but your heart's in the right place because I get where you're coming from. And there's like a line. It's freaking Disneyland. It's like it's Splash Mountain trying to get into a bidet reference, trying to get into the men's restroom. And every time you're absolutely right. You look at the women's restroom. It's just there. It's ripe for the dumping.
Okay. What about at athletic events? Have you ever been to a basketball game? There's a line for the women's bathroom.
Yeah.
Do you want to be waiting in that line?
No, I don't. It doesn't. I'm making that argument. The women shouldn't have to wait in that line. There should be gender-neutral bathrooms. So women can, if there's a line on the women's, then go in the men's. Or, no, but you understand what I'm saying. Like the lines, there will be no more lines. This will be the end of lines.
No, there will still be lines.
No, because it will be evenly distributed between.
The lines will just be the same at each facility.
Yeah, it's a smoother operation. It's more efficient. And with bidets happening, then it's going to even go quicker.
Okay, so what happens to the urinals? Are urinals just obsolete?
Urinals are a thing of the past. We'll tell our kids that they'll look at these old things and they'll say, "What is this, Dad?" And you'll say, "Well, son, that's what we used to call a urinal."
Wow.
That's what we still call a urinal, but they just aren't around.
So we changed the name. No, I think they could still have urinals. Why not throw 1 or 2 urinals in there? Because if you don't have urinals, then things are really going to get backed up.
Okay, so are you okay with that, with a women's bathroom and a urinal?
Yeah, because first of all, there are no women's bathrooms in this scenario. It's gender neutral. I just learned that. The women are going to appreciate.
Are the women going to appreciate walking into a bathroom with men standing at a urinal?
Why is there any problem? They're going to be staring at the back of them.
I think that's where the issue lies, is that you have women and men not treated equally, where men can go in and be seen by other people. I think that's the issue. Is that
here's the thing. We need to make sure that in every single stand-up urinal, there's that little divider between us. Okay, so people still have privacy, and women will appreciate that those are still there, because then men will be clogging up the stalls with their pee time. Okay, it makes it much more of an efficient experience. You can tell I have a couple daughters here. It'll be way more efficient, and women will appreciate that.
Okay, but what happens if one of your daughters, she goes with your wife into a gender-neutral bathroom and runs up right next to a man at a urinal? What is your wife going to do? Is she going to run right up to her and grab her, or is she going to feel awkward and just let Charlie partake?
Okay, in this scenario, I don't think Charlie is going to run into the bathroom, look where the urinals, and just go stand right next to a guy going pee and just be like, "What's going on over here?" Right. She's seen a penis, like she understands what that's all about. I don't think you're creating a scenario that I really don't think is going to be a problem.
Okay, I will tell you this. I have had an experience with gender neutral bathrooms. Ooh. And I for one am a fan. Up in Seattle, had a meeting up there. Both floors are gender neutral bathrooms. So you're walking in, the sinks are all there, everybody's washing their hands together. You go in to each stall has, about 3 to 4 inches of wood. So you walk into the gender neutral bathroom. I remember walking in and a woman was behind me walking at the same time, and it felt weird. but then you walk into the stalls. The stalls went to the ceiling all the way to the ground. And then
That seems excessive.
Okay.
Yeah, the stalls between each other, it was like, 3 or 4 inches.
Like military grade
Yeah.
dividers.
And dividers between you. And there was a fan that was pretty loud. And
For every stall?
For every stall.
Yeah.
There was
So
probably
every stall
12.
was basically a private office is
Yes.
what I'm getting.
I love that we just are assuming that like every place has like a budget of like several $1 million for their bathrooms. They all need to have bidets. They all need to have 4-inch steel dividers and each have fans. Urinals in every single one. I think we're going to have to be a little more practical here, but I think that's awesome. Here's the one counter argument I'll make to my own take. Okay. So if I'm double stalling it with a dude, so there's a guy right next to me, I'm pooping, he's pooping away as well. And if I'm hearing him and he's making all sorts of noises, like tribal screams, I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me. We've all been there. Sometimes you got to push it and push it real good.
It doesn't bother you.
It doesn't bother me.
I'm understanding. I'd be lying to say if I said that it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm totally cool with it. I could hang out there all day.
Now switch that with like Ben is next to you pooping with like Jenny from HR. So you're there pooping and Jenny from HR is in there and she's letting out all sorts of little shrieks and squeals.
Okay.
Shrills.
How do you know it's Jenny from HR?
Oh, you'll be able to know.
You look at the shoes.
She's letting you know that it's Jenny.
Okay. I actually know people who bring different shoes to work.
Okay, now are you serious?
They bring different shoes to change into.
To go to the bathroom so you don't know.
They're unidentifiable in the bathroom.
There's a 50% chance that the serial killer. You really think like having bathroom shoes, like that's a normal behavior? That's a sociopath right there for sure.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
That's crazy.
So,
I think you would see more of that with gender neutral bathrooms because
not every
men
place
would be
can afford.
embarrassed if Jenny from HR heard them after Taco Tuesday
yeah, but what if you walk out at the same
in
time?
the bathroom.
Like if a guy walks out at the same time as I have, and I know he's been fighting a good fight in there, like I dab him up. I'm like, "What's up, bro?
Yeah.
Like good work in there." No, I'm telling you, like there's a bonding experience that happens. If Jenny from HR walks out, I'm not dabbing her up. I'm like,
You're hightailing out of there.
yeah.
Well,
No, for sure.
you're delaying your flush, heading out.
Oh, the delay flush is key. I delay flush every single time I'm in the bathroom.
What's
I
a
do
delay
not
flush?
want to walk out of the stall at the same time as the guy next to me.
I don't.
So-
that doesn't bother me.
So I can, I've gone number 2 every day of my life. So I kind of get the cadence. I know what comes next.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can sense that he's nearing the finish line and I'm nearing the finish line, I'll let him finish first.
How would you sense that?
And so
I guess when you could hear the bidet, you'd know for sure.
well, you can, there are audio cues and just visual cues too if you can see their feet.
Like sighs of relief, like mild groans of pleasure.
So yeah, I will delay the flush as long as I need to make sure that he's cleared out of there, that I don't have to face
Whoever it is next to you,
Whoever
man
it
or
is.
woman.
See,
whether I know them or not. Most of the time I don't, obviously, but sometimes I do, and I still, even if it's someone that I know, I don't want to like
It is
acknowledge silently that
Yeah,
It really is awkward. Even when I walk into the bathroom, like, and if there's like I feel awkward, like making sure that somebody's not in the bathroom. Like,
Oh, yeah,
you're checking every
I'm
stall.
checking every stall.
oh yeah, you bend way down and make sure that someone's feet are
Feet are not there or there.
I'm completely different. I tie my flush to walk out with them.
Oh.
No, like I want to pay my respects.
I remember I was in a mall once on a work trip. I'm sitting in a stall and this crazy guy comes in and he freaking drop kicks the first stall door and just crushes it and just comes flying in on the other side, and I was scared shitless, but I was done.
So then you didn't have to poop anymore.
No, it was good. No.
all right, can I ask you guys a personal question?
Yeah, let's go.
On the topic of public restrooms, do you wash your hands after a urinal visit?
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
So that is, I don't on every time. Here's the thing.
Oh, I never do, unless there's someone else in there, and then I feel social
God,
pressure.
That's such a hot take.
It is a really hot take, and I'm really happy that you said that because I didn't know there were others like me. Because here's the deal. I'm very skilled down there. I don't need to. I don't need.
You don't need hands.
No, I'm hands free. I'm.
Are you like one of those old guys that goes to the bathroom and you walk in and they're just kind of like hanging out here with their hands out?
No, I'm very respectful, but I just do the one hand unbutton, just flop that little guy out of there.
Oh, so you're a unbutton. Undo the belt, undo the button.
Oh, do you just pop it out of your pants?
Why else do you have a fly?
Yeah, if I'm wearing a belt, I'm straight out the fly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I just don't fit, but that's interesting. You guys do.
My gosh. Okay.
No, that is a hot take, though.
Back
That
to
is
hand
really...
washing, though. I mean, I don't wash my hands.
My hands are completely clean. No, it touches nothing but my waistband.
Yeah, but here's the thing, guys. How many times... I mean, if you really touch nothing in the bathroom, like, are you touching nothing?
Well, you touch the door handle.
Okay. So that could be have someone's feces on it.
Not if it's a push out.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Or sometimes I'll actually
use your rear.
I'll grab a paper towel on the way out, and I'll use that to open the door.
Okay.
And then go to switch to the elbow, throw the
Well,
paper.
whether
in the
you're
garbage
doing
can,
that or
and
not,
I'm out.
that's after you wash your hands, right?
No.
Or don't wash your hands.
No, I don't wash my hands. Just all one quick motion. Sometimes I'll
A lot of
open
public restrooms don't have doors. I mean, you just walk through, you turn right and then turn left, and that's the visual barrier. And so there's no doors.
Or if there's a handle, you can go with your elbow and push it down, and then.
Oh, love the elbow.
The elbow's a classic.
Great.
So yeah, I feel like I'm doing my part to like save the whales, but I don't need to.
Soap doesn't grow on trees.
No.
Yeah, that is not the reason why you guys don't do it. It's sheer convenience of like, I haven't touched it. There's nothing I've touched that is outside of, that's bacterial that we know of or think we know of, and I'm good. I'm going to head out.
Well, here's the thing. Let's be honest. Like my privates are it's probably one of the cleanest parts of my entire body. It's being thoroughly washed every single day, and nothing touches it. It's covered by.
It's the only part of my body that gets soaped every single day, probably.
Yeah, and thoroughly. It's the only part
Thoroughly.
I'm not washing the back of my knees with soap every day.
You just said it's the only part of my body that gets soaped every day.
Yeah.
So
I'm not washing the back of. I mean, yeah, I'll rub soap on my body, but I'm not like.
But there's parts of your body that are like, of all the parts of your body,
I'm sure that I don't get 100% of the square footage of my body with soap every single day. I'm sure I miss some.
But little Caden's getting some every day.
Sure, that's one way to put it.
All right, that's my take. I'm sticking to it. Gender neutral bathrooms across the board.